Greetings, Ping. Welcome in. How are you guys today? All right. Transition. Hey guys, it's Ray, and we are streaming blacksmithing today. So today we are going to be doing a basic hook tutorial video. This is going to be kind of a test run for shooting a video for YouTube. And so I have this lovely board over here. It's a whiteboard. It's got like bullet points for my script. I don't know if you guys can see that. Maybe you can now. I don't know. But yeah, as you can probably see, there are bullet points here for like different shots that I want to get today. So most of those are actually going to be shots or like things that I just need to say while I am on the anvil. So we'll still have our back and forth between the two heats. But yeah, I'm kind of testing the waters to see kind of how it's going to work and if I can make something that is a little bit easier on me to edit so that I have a little bit more time to do other things besides just edit all day, every day. So that is the goal, or like we're kind of in the testing round, see if I can, stick to bullet points and kind of, be able to juggle both making a video for YouTube and focusing in on you guys and maintaining our stream. So let me know how I'm doing, and we'll see how this goes. One other thing that I need to tell you guys is that I forgot to charge my lav mic pack. So I have a fully charged lav mic, but the receiver pack is not fully charged. So let me know when it dies. It's about halfway. It should go through the entire stream, but I'm not positive on that. So if like the sound fluctuates on the wide camera and then like the lav mic drops, just let me know and I will I'll do my best to see if I can't like figure something else out for the sound. So that's cool. Cool science project. And you're doing a little better. That's good. So, yeah. I think that is about everything that I was going to tell you guys before I like started, the first shot, which is kind of an intro shot for the tutorial video, I guess. So we're gonna go over again that we're gonna make a hook and kind of a little bit of an overview of that. So I am going to hit record on my wide camera and in just a second. And then we will see if we can make this happen. We'll let you know. Awesome. Welcome in, Mahalo. Hi, Ping. Thank you for all of your, your help with this. So you guys are kind of going to be my like producers slash, directors a little bit. With this video that I'm trying to make. So you guys get to tell me if you liked how I said things, if I need to reshoot something, that sort of stuff. So that way you guys can be completely involved in this process and it'll be a little bit more behind the scenes for you guys. So that is the plan today. And if it works out, that's amazing and great. And I'm happy. But if it doesn't, just let me know and we'll like figure something else out. But the goal is to get a little bit more time back in my week so that I can kind of pursue some other avenues of improving both the stream and the YouTube, or, like play more video games and that sort of thing too. So you never know, right? So yeah, it looks like the ad is about to start, and so I'm probably gonna wait for that, and then I will turn on the camera real fast for that shot. So we'll hit record. Okay. Let's see. Like I said, I've got myself some bullet points, so I'm going to look at those real fast and just kind of refamiliarize myself with what I wrote. Time to light the forge. Yeah, you're right. I do need to light the forge. Let's light the forge first. What do you guys think? Should I do my intro with the forge lit? I probably should. Let's do that real fast. There we go. All right. Little bit of extra gas from when the propane torch kind of went out a little bit. All right. Put my headphones on so I can hear myself talk. And let's try this. Okay, here we go. Hey guys, I'm Ray, and we are streaming blacksmithing. And then I'm gonna try that again. Hey guys, this is Ray, and this is a blacksmithing YouTube video. So today we are going to be making a basic blacksmith hook. Right now I have a piece of 1/4 inch square stock, and we're going to taper this down and make a basic hook. Hooks are one of the most basic blacksmithing projects that you can do. Beginner blacksmiths are often taught hooks as one of their first few projects. And so today I'm going to kind of show you how that's done. So I hope that was okay. We'll see that. We might redo that one more time. Okay. Hi guys, this is Ray, and we are making a YouTube video. So today we are going to be making a J hook. It is one of the most basic blacksmithing projects. It is one of the first projects that a beginner blacksmith is going to be able to do. So right here I have a piece of 1/4 inch square stock steel, and we are going to taper it down and make a basic hook. So I'm going to put this guy in the forge. Good evening. Welcome in, Basic Salad Sandwich. We're kind of testing a new format for the stream. I'm trying to make it a little bit easier on myself for editing our videos. So I'm kind of going to be back and forth shooting or recording the stuff that I'm doing, and kind of trying to make a more cohesive video. And I've got bullet points here, and I don't have nearly enough bullet points to fill the entire stream. So between heats and shots, I get to talk to all of you guys, and you guys can tell me what you think of my scripting. And so you guys are going to help me by directing and producing this YouTube video, as well as, just talk and socialize and see what we're going to do today. So, my next bullet point is to talk about how hooks are a beginner project. So J-hooks are a very beginner project. They are one of the first projects that you learn as a beginner blacksmith. And they're very lovely projects because you could actually start making money with them very, very quickly. Once you're able to do a very basic, good-looking taper, you can actually start making and selling J-hooks. And you could actually charge a pretty decent amount of money for them. I've seen some people go between $10 and $20. So if you can get those down really, really quickly, you can make a decent amount of money by doing them, doing a lot of them and selling them at like a craft show. All right. Let's see. The other great thing about making lots and lots of J-hooks is that practice makes perfect. The more J-hooks that you're going to make, the more it's going to become natural and muscle memory, and the more you're going to be able to get better at them. Cool, I like money. Exactly, everybody likes money. So I think it'll be all right. I think I can make something in the editing bay with that. So I think we're going to actually like move on to the next shot in my list. But it's going to take me just a little bit of time to kind of get to the point where I can do the next shot. So we are going to turn off, or like turn off the recording, so that way I don't have just like a huge amount of footage. Other people's money, yes. From a movie? So are making other people's money, yeah, like you can definitely make money by making a lot of just like simple basic blacksmithing projects. There's like a lot of there's a culture of craft fairs in like the United States, and I think also some places in Europe, where you can kind of set up a table and like sell little tiny baubles and stuff that you've made as you're learning blacksmithing and kind of gaining that muscle memory from the repetition. So you can sell like nails and hooks and leaves and all that sort of stuff, and you could actually start making some all right money, at least enough to like support your blacksmithing habit. Blacksmithing is a really expensive hobby. All of the different consumables and buying steel, it can start adding up quite a bit. The initial cost can also be a little bit on the prohibitive side, unless you're using like more primitive types of tools. So yeah. I guess for making money, I should rather stick with using keyboards and mouses. I mean, if you have a real job, like, you know, coding, or, you know, like an office job, or, you know, sometimes even retail, you can make a lot more money doing a real big girl or big person adult job than you can with blacksmithing at first. But I mean, like I said, you can actually probably support the habit. You know, so you'll be able to buy your propane, you'll be able to buy your tools, or, you know, expand your tools, you'll be able to buy your consumables. But I don't think that you can quite make a living just selling like the little baubles at the craft shows. It's more of like a side hustle, I would say. It is nice to have a good side hustle though, sometimes at least. And as you continue to blacksmith more and more, you'll actually be able to start charging more for your product, and you'll be able to kind of expand your repertoire, and you can eventually make a living off of blacksmithing. So today we are using our Taylor Swift Eras Tour movie cup because it is a lot bigger than the water bottle that I've been using. So hopefully I don't knock it over, because the lid is a little flimsy on there. But yeah, it's 32 ounces, so I should have plenty of liquid or water for the stream. I have a tendency to like run out of water about a half an hour before I end the stream, and it drives me nuts. So I thought about that today for once in my life, and I got a bigger cup. Alrighty, so the next shot on my list of things that I'd like to get today is an anvil, or from the anvil cam, and I'd like to get a shot of starting and continuing the taper. So I'm going to actually start recording on the anvil cam, and I'm going to talk a little bit about starting our taper as I pull the material out of the forge. We do have to wait a little bit longer. It's a little bit on the cold side, and I'd really like to start really good by doing the initial like squishing of the nose in one heat. Good plan on the bigger cup. It looks big. It does look bigger today. So I have a couple other like larger water bottles that I have like a big old Nalgene, and I'd like to actually use that one because if I knock it off, it's not going to break it or anything like that. But those I found them when I was looking for a bigger cup. I found them like underneath of my desk, and it's all covered in dust. So before I can use it, I have to wash it. So I had the Taylor Swift cup in my cupboard, so I used that instead today. And yeah, I guess I'm kind of a Taylor Swift fan. I know that's kind of, a little bit of a hot take in the blacksmithing industry, but I think she does a really good job. Google says a liter is 33.8 ounces. Yeah, so it's just a 32 ounce cup is just under a liter, I guess. So that's a standard size in the United States is 32 ounces. It's like a jumbo cup that you get at like a large at your movie theater, or a big gulp that you get at like the 7-Eleven. So I think they're probably going for the liter as a measurement, but obviously since it's the United States and we're so like, set on using ounces as opposed to liters, we can't have anything except for like alcohol in liters. So when do you use ounces? When do you use gallons? Well, when I go to the grocery store and I go to buy like liquids, most of them are actually in ounces, right? But there are a few other items that you buy in like liters. Like I can buy soda or Coke or Pepsi or, carbonated beverage. I can buy those in 2-liter bottles. They're like about yay big. And those are relatively standard. And so I can buy those in 2 liters. I can buy milk in gallons. Sometimes I can buy orange juice in gallons or like some other types of juices, but most other things are actually done in ounces. We buy gas in gallons, so that's not a liquid that we consume. It's obviously a liquid that your car consumes, or like a lawnmower or whatever. So that's done in gallons. Things that come in those large barrels, like crude oil and stuff like that, the measurement that we use in the United States for those giant barrels of like crude oil and what other types of like industrial liquids, those are 55-gallon barrels to people in the US. So, I mean, there's that. Oh, a gallon is 128 ounces. Of course, why not? Yeah. So there are a lot of ounces, or like a lot of things you can buy in ounces. But normally it's like weird measurements. So, yeah. All right, so it looks like we've got plenty of heat on our piece of steel, so I'm going to do the first heat, and we're going to start that taper. So I'm going to start up the anvil camera, start that recording, and we'll try and do that. Okay. As in every taper, we start by angling the piece of material up, and we start by angling the piece up off of the face of the anvil and hammering with angled glancing blows. We're going to do that on all four sides to kind of reduce the end and give ourselves a nice pointed nose. I think I liked that. I think I can make something out of that. So yeah, we are really weird here in the United States with our units of measurement. I don't know. It's like we do use like metric measurements on occasion, but only when it's the most convenient. Like we will definitely start or use grams on occasion for different sorts of measurement, weight measurements, obviously. A lot of times we will use metric in our tools, and so like nuts and bolts, you can buy them in both standard and metric. So that's kind of interchangeable, but I think that's partially because we import a lot of foreign cars, and all of the foreign cars, all of the parts for those are metric. So I think we kind of have adapted to tooling and stuff being in metric sizes, except for like wood and like raw wood and raw steel. We always measure those in inches and feet. And the weird part about wood is that when I talk about a 2x4, a 2x4 is supposed to be 4 inches wide by 2 inches deep by however long it is, and it's smaller than that. So like if I picked up a piece of 2x4, I've got one right here. Here's a little section of 2x4. If I were to measure this, it'd be 3.5 inches wide, right? I think that is so weird. And like if I were to measure this, it's supposed to be 2, but it's like 1.5 inches. That's the true measurements on a 2x4. So when I say a 2x4, this is kind of what I mean. It's not actually literally 2 inches by 4 inches. And I think that's really, really confusing. Hey, Mahalo. Hey, Blacksmith Dan. Dimensional lumber has changed 3 times in the last 90 years. It has. It's so annoying. Because, like, the older your house, the more, like, variance you have when you are, like, doing, like, gutting a wall or something. So, like, if you have, like, a 100-year-old house and you're looking at the joists, they're a completely different size than one that's built in, like, today. So the houses, the really old ones, they're so much more sturdy than the newer houses. I feel like some of the newer houses that we make in the United States are made out of like cardboard and shoestring, practically. The lumber industry is weird all the way back to the tree. It really, really is. I am really glad, though, that a lot of our lumber has kind of, well, I guess it's more of our paper has kind of started coming from tree farms. And I think that that is also, like, best. Because, I mean, for the longest time, we were kind of just clearing out all of our forest area and deforesting the land, and we lost so many animals doing that. And it's just, you know, we need the forests because there are just so many areas that you can't really like use after you've deforested them. That is the stereotype from a European perspective. 1899 true 2x4s and blacksmith nails. Exactly. I put myself through college by framing houses. Houses today are crap unless you build a totally custom build. They really are. I mean, I kind of feel like, especially in like neighborhoods, like in the Midwest, like the area that I live in, from like Wisconsin to or like through Ohio and like Missouri, Iowa, that area, some in Wisconsin and like Minnesota. A lot of the houses that we are building, we're actually just like clearing out farmland and selling them to contractors, and then contractors are building like hundreds of houses, just like the same house over and over and over, and they're trying to turn them out as fastly or as quickly and as fast as they can do it. And I feel like that actually leads to shoddy construction. So like you end up getting a brand new home that's like, you know, a cookie cutter box home, and in like 10 years it looks like garbage because all of the materials are so poorly, they're just such poor quality. It's pretty rare to have a modern house made out of wood. There are cases, but most of the basic structures are made from stone and concrete. I have a strong dislike for those cookie cutter developments. Subdivisions from the 1980s are crap building. They definitely are. And I do know that a lot of them are still being built in the Midwest of the United States. I actually have driven past several subdivisions and watched them as they just like come together, and a lot of them are just like pine 2x4s that are like, you know, the little ones, and just like it's like what is it called, like compressed wood, 4x8 sheets of like, what is it called? I can't even remember. Sheathing? There's a big demand for housing, so the builders will do whatever they can to get away with profit. Yeah, and they really will. I find it obnoxious because it's like the first derecho that comes through, and a derecho is like a landlocked gust of wind that is the same speed as a hurricane gale force wind. So it's just like the first time one of those, you lose your roof. Sometimes you'll lose more than your roof. And it's just so disheartening to see, or to just drive around and see all these houses that just, they don't have roofs anymore. And they can't get roofers out fast enough. So like after big hailstorms and like giant windstorms, there are constantly houses in and around the area that are just tarped over. And it's really sad to see. And you never see that in the really old houses. They just last forever. They're so well built. So yeah, if you can buy an old house, do it. Yeah, there's probably going to be some issues that you'll have to take care of, but it's nothing compared to what might happen when your house starts falling down in like 15, 20 years. The upside of cheaper building is that it is, well, cheaper. Over here, real estate has become crazy expensive to a point where normal earners have no chance to afford a house. Even renting in bigger cities has become unaffordable. It's so sad to see commodity housing. Yeah, it really is. I hope to be streaming early tomorrow if anyone's interested. Awesome. I will see what I can do to tune into your stream, Dan. I would love to see you streaming. But yeah, houses have totally become commodified. And I mean, so many companies are just buying them up and using them as rental properties, or as like what do you call it? Like the not hotels, where it's like, I guess it's Airbnbs. Like, we have a major issue with Airbnbs. And I know that I've heard stories about places in like Europe and Asia where people, they'll buy houses or apartments and they'll Airbnb them out illegally. So you've got to be so careful with that. And I feel like doing that kind of stuff is really kind of starting to price out ordinary people. And I think that we really need to start regulating that. Forging leaves under my little giant power hammer. Ooh, that would be really interesting to see. I've never actually seen a leaf forged under a power hammer. Every time I have access to a power hammer and we do leaves, we're always doing them by hand. So I will definitely look at that, or I'll see if I can't catch it. I do have a tendency to play video games in the morning on Saturdays, so hopefully I am playing video games at the same time you're streaming, because then I can kind of dual both watch and play my games. Alrighty. So we are going to do another heat, and this one is going to be a continuation on that taper. So we are going to turn on the anvil cam, and we're going to do that. That way I can kind of get shots of it. Oh, you know what? Just because I turned on the anvil cam at the anvil cam doesn't mean I've switched cameras on the capture card. That's an important thing to remember. I cannot sacrifice my stream just because I'm trying to like make videos easier. I am struggling with this piece. Okay. There we go. An ad. Do I have a planned use for the J-hook? I do, actually. The plan for this J-hook is to actually hammer into the wall, probably over here somewhere, and I'm gonna hang our paper clip from it, so that way it is in the background of the stream, and you guys can kind of look at it, and we can all remember together the paper clip. Yeah, so that's what we're doing with the J-hook. Let's see. Today today I'm a little bit on the tired side. I ate something really bad maybe, because I woke up in the middle of the night and I had like a stomach bug. So, it was not pleasant. I'm feeling much better right now. So whatever it is, I must have gotten it out of my system. And I seem to be doing all right, but I'm a little on the tired side today. So I apologize for not being quite as puppy as I normally am. For those watching, if you're going to forge with your hammer in line with the anvil, you have to be conscious of not mashing your fingers on the horn. Hammer in line with the anvil. I've never had that problem, Dan. Maybe it's because am I not forging in line with the anvil, maybe? Yeah, I've never had that problem where I've actually, like, hammered my thumb, at least not that way. Now, I constantly have to be careful of hammering my thumb when I am doing, when I'm making holes. So, like, when I'm using a punch and punching in my holes, I'm always hitting my thumb. But I never have the problem where I am hammering my thumb on the horn. Maybe if you mean like this, like, so maybe you're knuckle busting on the end of the horn, I could see that. I kind of have a weird, like, angled hammer blow as opposed to, like, straight on. Because when I was starting to blacksmith, I did bust my knuckles a few times on the face of the anvil, and so I tried to learn early. And so maybe I've created bad habits for myself. Maybe that's why I'm constantly angling out my right angles. Hang a bottle opener on there too. You are fine and can forge in all 360 around the anvil. Yeah, I try to kind of offset my hammer a little bit so that I am not hammering directly perpendicular with the anvil. Because I have problems where, like, because the plate on my anvil is broken off. Normally, this little corner here actually juts out to here on a normal anvil. And so you don't actually have as much risk of smashing your knuckles on the horn if you're hammering on the face. But my anvil I have that issue. And so that's kind of why I do like a kind of a 45-degree angle off of my anvil. You might have the advantage of having smaller hands so your knuckles don't stick out. That could be the case too. I do have really, really small hands. And so, you know, the distance between, you know, the thickness of my fingers isn't nearly as far as some larger people's hands. So that could also be an issue. But yeah, try not to knuckle bust your knuckles when you're hammering. Like I said, you know, I kind of offset to about a 45. Sometimes it's a little bit more shallow, like a 30. And it seems to be doing all right, except when I do kind of have a tendency to kind of cock my hammer a little bit closer towards me. So when the end faces me, then I'm kind of like gouging into the material, and you have to be really careful that you're not gouging in places that you don't want to, or that you want to keep smooth, right? It's not so bad when you're first starting a taper, but when you're trying to kind of straighten it out, you definitely want to keep your hammer parallel to the face of your anvil so you're not gouging the surface of your pieces. So back there, Ping said that I should also hang a bottle opener up on the wall back there. I could totally do a bottle opener. I am considering doing. Okay, so I forgot to let you guys know that I already know that we're not going to get the bottle jack until Monday. So I won't be able to install it this weekend, and we'll have to wait until next weekend. So I have 3 days next week to fill with projects. So I was thinking about doing a day of doing leaves, a day of doing the blacksmith crosses, where and Dan probably knows what they're actually called. There's like a saint that they're named after, but it's basically you take a cord or like a piece of square stock and you kind of cut it vertically and then cut vertically on the bottom, but perpendicular, right? And then you flatten it all out and it creates a cross shape. Hey, Bluesy, welcome in. But yeah, so I was thinking about doing those 2 projects, and then I had a 3rd day and that I have to fill. So if we could totally do a bottle opener with that day, because what I really want to do is I want to combine all those videos together with the shots that I'm doing today for this J-hook and make a big conglomerate video of basic blacksmithing projects. So like kind of a checklist of my first blacksmithing projects. So I think that could be a fun video for people to watch. Because if I just do like a video on just this J-hook and just a video on the leaf, they're only going to be like about 5 minutes each. And they're going to be really short. And I think that's good, but I think maybe doing individual videos and then combining them all might also work. So I don't know. You guys can let me know what you think. You are yellow. Well, your shirt and so is your leather thing. Yeah. My shirt is orange. It's a blacksmithing shirt. And I do also have a yellow apron. I have a metals museum shirt on. So it says, don't worry about a ding, because I got it at the Metals Museum during their repair days. And so I volunteered to do metal repairs. It was a really fun day. I call them split crosses instead of Frederick's crosses. Yeah, the saint's name is Frederick. I tend to call them just blacksmith crosses, but I know that they have a proper name, so I kind of want to make sure that I use the proper name so that if people are looking specifically for them, then, you know, they'll know where to look and stuff. I see it is orange. I need my colors adjusted on my screen. Well, I think that because my apron is yellow, it kind of skews it a little bit. So maybe it's like a more visual illusion, kind of like that dress from like 10 years back or whatever, the one that was like, some people saw it as gold and black or no, it was blue and black and gold and white. And so maybe it's something like that. Optical illusions can be fun. But there's also like a lot of light coming in through my windows back here. And so I kind of feel like I get blown out a lot. So because it's so bright behind my head, I don't think you guys can see my head quite as well as you might be able to if I were facing this direction. And then the light would be on my face. So yeah. I remember that. It was clearly gold and white on that picture. Yeah, the white balance is trying to cope with the background windows. Yeah, so sometime this spring, I do have a plan to flip my shop, right? So I have the plan that like we're gonna start on a weekend on like Saturday morning, and we're gonna pull all of my stuff out into the carport after we move the cars out of it, and then I'm going to deliberately set up kind of like a background so that you guys don't have to see the garage door, and you'll be able to see my shop door and that it's actually open and there's like lots of ventilation, because I'm thinking about completely flipping it. So that should help with the lighting and a little bit of like the power situation. I have more power on that side of the shop than this side. Hi, Lord Velos. Welcome in. Yeah, I have to block off the windows in my shop. Are you going to flip vertically or horizontally? I'm actually gonna skew it, right? So I think I'm gonna put the camera somewhere around this area right here, kind of maybe closer to where the press is. And then, so all of my shop things are going to be behind the camera in the corner. And that's kind of how I'm planning on doing it, because I have a big wall that I can kind of start hammering in hooks, and we can start putting in some of our projects, and we'll kind of decorate it and maybe put some like wall mounted lights or like decorations. And so that is the goal. And then I'll also have a little bit more space to kind of walk around in. I will have to move the paperclip. I will have to move the paperclip, but that's kind of why instead of doing there's like two styles of hooks that I kind of thought about doing today. One actually has a built-in spike, like that's attached to the hook, and then you hammer the hook itself into the wall. And I decided against doing that because, like I said, I do want to flip the shop. So if I put the hole in there, then I could kind of screw it onto the wall, and then I could just unscrew it and move it. So that is the plan for the moment. I use light from the open overhead door for streaming. Yeah. I have like these really awful 2 fluorescent lights. There's one over there and there's one right above here. And then sometimes when I open and close the garage door, I've got the light that's on the garage door opener, I guess. Is that what it's like, the little machine that pulls it up? So there was a time where I was like, you know, it's really, really nice, and I could totally open the garage door, right? But when I opened the garage door and I looked at myself through the camera, instead of just being washed out from the windows, I was washed out from the entire open door, and I was like, I can't do that. And that's when I decided that I have to flip the shop, because there will be times this summer where I will have to open that garage door to get a nice cross flow going. There's just not enough ventilation in here to keep cool in the summertime. Like I said, I have a door over here wide open, but it's just not quite enough airflow for keeping the fan going and getting the wind in here. I kind of feel like if I can open the garage door, I'll get more wind flowing through. Okay, so I'm gonna start hammering on doing another taper. And we do have plenty of heat for that too. Hit the record button again. And let's grab this material. Know that I liked that take, but we'll try it again in a few. I think I'm just gonna leave that to record because I've got a few more shots I need to get. Metal Sensei Teach, yep. I use the, okay, that sounds cool. So I've started noticing I have this weird habit where I inhale a large amount of air and then I talk and I don't actually exhale the entire breath. And so then when I drink my water, I end up swallowing a whole bunch of air. So I need to remember to take full breaths. I don't always use all of the air that I inhale while I'm talking, so I need to make sure that I'm actually spending time actually breathing, I think. Maybe that's one of those, like, instead of having, or, you know, having to take care of me to make sure that I'm standing up or like sitting up straight and hydrating and, you know, resting my eyes and whatnot, you guys might have to like start reminding me to take full breaths and exhale. Breathing is an art. Sometimes I go without breathing. Yeah. Sometimes I do too. I don't know. I think the reason that I do it is because I inhale a really large breath. When I took singing lessons and acting lessons, because I took those when I was really, really young. I never did anything with it, but I did take a lot of lessons, and they taught about breath control. And so I keep inhaling and in anticipation of like singing really long high notes and just like holding them, but I'm not expelling the entire breath. And I think it's a habit that I have, and I need to, you know, kind of break it so that I can make sure that I'm taking full breaths in and out. This is not a long-term solution. Exactly. Do not forget to breathe. Breathing is important. Breathe in and out, in and out. Maybe I'm gonna have to do, so Ping has this like, don't you have a channel point redemption where it's like breathing in for like 30 seconds? You've got the breathe in and breathe out redemption. Yeah, maybe I'll need to do that. You guys can redeem. Breathe in, breathe out. In and out. The fatter I get, the harder it is for me to breathe. I need to lose weight. Follow Mr. Miyagi's breathing steps. Yes, breathing exercises for 60 seconds. Yeah. See, I have issues too because like my main like breathing has been very difficult for me since I got sick because I got COVID and that's what made me sick, right? So I just have these days where I just can't get enough air in my lungs. And it's just like the bottom of my lungs just, it tickles, like I just can't get enough air in there. And I just need a cough. So I just need to be very careful and, you know, make sure that I give myself time and room to breathe. In and out. Short pauses are okay. I have this thing where I feel like I need to fill the entire space because I'm afraid that someone's gonna join our stream and then they're gonna see that I'm just like not speaking, or, you know, and then they're not going to be entertained and then they're just gonna leave. But, you know, space it can be good. So I think I need to remember and remind myself that it is okay to stop and breathe. All right, so we've got plenty of material. So I am gonna go to the anvil camera. And this time we're gonna go to the flat of the anvil and kind of straighten out this piece. Oh, and I can't forget that I really want to take the end here and really taper that down so that we can make a little bit of a scroll curl on the end. In and longer out, yes. After hydrating, now breathing. It seems like Twitch has a habit of having chat control the streamer's basic body functions. So yeah, I was discussing with my partner about how I don't really have any good channel point redemptions for you guys. And I thought that it would be fun for you guys to have stuff, but it's kind of like a lot of the ones that a lot of people have are just like you know, take care of your streamer as though they're a Tamagotchi. And I'm like, I really don't want to have to, you know, force my chat to take care of me like I'm a pet. And I really don't want to, like, you know, do the dancing monkey thing. So I'm having a lot of trouble figuring out redemptions for you guys. That's kind of why I haven't added anything. Hey, Vossen, welcome in. So I think, I don't know, I just haven't really come up with any good channel point redemptions. I think the only ones that I really, really like are the ones that, like, I know Johnson has a redemption where you guys can kind of put an iron in the hat, and at the end of every month, doesn't he like pull out a name and then they get like a free knife? I think that would be a great redemption, but I don't think that I have the means to do it yet. I think I need to like come up with something that you guys might want to put an iron in the hat for. And, you know, make sure that we kind of, I have to make sure that I'm able to actually deliver on it, if that makes sense. You should have a nail one in one heat redemption like Hansa. You could do redemptions where we learn something. Nail forging is a production killer. It kind of is, right? So part of the reason why I didn't want to do the nail redemptions like Hansa is because if I'm in the middle of doing a piece and I'm really like intensely thinking about it and stuff, it's like a nail redemption is kind of like, it interrupts my flow, if that makes sense. When I'm really blacksmithing and I'm going heavy at it, I'm actually kind of in a flow state. And interrupting that for another project sometimes can be a little bit jarring. Every once in a while, I get that way between my project and chat. So like sometimes if you'll hear me start like stuttering and kind of forgetting my train of thought, that's kind of what's happening a little bit. And it's not bad like every once in a while, but it's kind of, you know, it can be a production killer. So, I mean, if I were to do something like that as a redemption, it would probably be like, I would probably limit it to like 1 per stream, just because, you know, it can be quite the interruption. I also don't stream quite as long as Hansa does. I only do like the 2.5 hour blocks, and yeah. Then you can get like 4 people redeeming the nail and you get nothing done. Yes. Johnson creates hat knives when he has no real orders. Everyone can put tickets in and you can earn with your channel points, and a computer will pick it at random. Yeah, I really like his iron in the hat, or like the redemptions, like the monthly knife redemptions. I think that's such a great idea, because then it's also a draw for people, because, you know, the longer and the more you watch, the more chances you have at winning the knife, right? So it's really ingenious to get and maintain new viewers. So I would like to do something like that. However, I need to kind of come up with something that's unique. I don't do knives, so it's kind of like, what would you guys like? You know, if I were to do something like that, what might you guys want to, you know, receive? We could probably do like basic blacksmithing projects like hooks and leaves and those sorts of things, but some of the other things could be a little expensive, if that makes sense. I like to keep it to the point where, like, you guys could, or that it's kind of something that I could put in like a flat rate package. so that it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. I don't mind if it takes an entire stream to make something like that, but like, I don't know that I still have to kind of make it a good value for both of us, right? So my time is like it is valuable to a point, right? So I have to make sure that we can do something that you guys would like, but also isn't like a money sink, if that makes sense. So I hope it does. I don't have a lot of extra funds to, you know, do really long, drawn-out processes. A nail pounded to a cast, very glowy. Oh, a nail poured into a cast. Easy to ship. So, if I did something like that, what material would you want it in? Like, because casting actually takes a little bit more effort than you would actually like think, right? So I could totally do like sand casted ones. I could probably do them in aluminum, but I don't know that I no longer have a way to heat my metal except for my forge. I used to have a kiln that I was using for my casting, but I had to get rid of it because I couldn't keep it indoors and the weather got to it, and so all of the reflective kale wool started like kind of coming out of it, and it was dangerous. I can't use it anymore, so I had to get rid of it. Make something like a bottle opener. It could be it should not be overly expensive, but it could be fun. Larger builds could be a good thing as people see the process each stream, and you can have audience-defined decorations in the build. That could be cool. I don't think it should be a gift. Oh, got it. Oh no, but it should not be too expensive either. Yeah, if you plan to decorate a wall, you can have the chat make the choices as redemptions, like choosing colors of something or arranging stuff. Have usernames written on something. Ooh, those are really good ideas, chat. What if what about every month I could make a new thing to add to the wall once we switch the shop around? So, because I have 2 completely blank walls behind the camera over there where we're going to start putting all of the stuff, or like where we're going to flip to. So then you guys could like redeem, and like every month we can kind of draw a name, and you guys could like, you know, decide what goes on the wall, and I'll put your name on there. I've got some letter punches, and we can put your name on the thing and then hang it up. And then we'll have to make more hooks so that we can put things together. That could be fun. That would be cool. So what are you making? Medivh, welcome in. Also, Fourth Fiddle, thank you for following. Right now I am making a J-hook as a basic beginner blacksmith project. So that's what's in the forge right now. We're just kind of talking while it's heating up. Pretty soon I will turn on the other camera and we'll do another heat. Say you could plan on a window grate or a fire basket or a chandelier, and the chat defines the motif. I mean, yeah, that could definitely be a thing. I would love doing things like that. 23,310 hammer strikes. Is that how many you have today, Ping? Chain links like subscriber redeem names. Yes. We could totally do that too. doing chain links isn't actually that hard. We could definitely do something like that. But I kind of feel like if we're doing that sort of thing, I need to have it planned. So it's kind of like, I know a lot of streamers, they'll like do subathons and like follower-a-thons, and every time they get like a sub, they'll like do a paper link in a chain. I don't think I could do it that way, where it's like every time that someone redeems it, I could do, but I could definitely do like a plan where it's like everybody who, you know, redeems, maybe I could make a link for each person in like 1 or 2 different streams, like once a month or something. I mean, that could be a thing. A J hook, like a butcher's meat hook. Kind of. Yeah, so what we're actually making is we made a giant paper clip. It's about yay big. And I haven't cut it off of the material yet. Let me go get it so you guys can see it. I haven't actually done any cleanup yet because I just spent all day yesterday kind of editing. That's kind of one of the reasons why I'm trying to organize myself and plan so that I don't spend all day, so that I can have a little bit more time to do cleanup work. So this is what we came up with on Wednesday. Like I said, I need to clean it up. So it needs to be cut off right here so that this side, it matches this side. And then we also need to kind of draw that down so it's skinny like this guy. And then we need to clean him off because it's really scaly right now. So I want to make a hook so that I can hang it up on the wall over here. And then it'll be in the background of the stream. So that is what we're making today. Okay, so I'm gonna do another heat and we're almost through with the J section of the J hook. Oh, I am still actually recording. So I have a really long shot for that. Don't forget to add googly eyes. I definitely need to add googly eyes so that it can be clippy. Okay. Brute to forge paperclip. Yep. Are you gonna heat it in and dunk it in oil to give it a coating to stop butt or rust, or are you going to use some sort of paint? If you're going to oil quench is one I'm asking. Give it a nice black color. So I was actually kind of thinking about using a brass brush is really what I was thinking. Let's see if I can even, I don't know, maybe I don't even have a brass brush anymore. I have this guy. Do I have my brass brush? I think I might be missing my brass brush. Well, originally I was going to use a brass brush, and I might still do it because I could actually put this guy in a drill bit. And so what this is it is that each of the bristles on this guy are brass, right? And so when you heat up metal to like a black heat, you can kind of actually transfer the brass from your brass brush onto your steel material, and that will actually coat it in brass and prevent it from rusting. So that's kind of what I was thinking about doing for this particular piece. So if I can't find my actual brass brush, we will use the drill and we'll use this guy. This guy I bought because I had a lot of pieces that I needed to brass at the same time. So it was easier to do them all at the same time than individually. Hey, I found my steel brush. I've been looking for this guy. Sometimes my tools go missing. You lost it some time ago, last month actually, yep. Even if I have a brass brush and I don't do blacksmithing, is this brazing? No, it's not actually brazing. Because, or maybe, actually, okay. I don't know for sure, but I can definitely look it up if you guys are interested. Oh, that's the one. Yep. Some folks don't know that some brass brushes are not even brass, but just coated. So you have to know what you have. Yes, exactly. You do. There are brass coated brushes out there. I believe I bought that one specifically because it was brass, or it said, or it advertised that it was brass. But yeah, I had an actual like hand brass brush, and I'm not sure what I did with it. I thought that when I lost my steel brush, I found the brass brush, but now I can't find the brass brush. So I don't know. Is it in there? I don't know. Maybe we will oil coat it. Well, I'll see. I have also done linseed oil as well. That's always, it creates a nice blackening. And it'll also prevent rust. So I don't know. I'll see what I can find as we keep going. Brazing is like adding solder, if I recall correctly. That seems to be the way, yeah. And yes, I mean, the traditional type of brazing is by taking two pieces of material and adding a third material in between the two. So if you have a piece of steel and another piece of steel and you want to like affix them together, you'll add brass into the gap, right? And that's called brazing. So it's kind of just melting that brass along the seam. And that is an alternative to welding. So the process, like the scientific process of brass brushing your metal, it could be considered brazing, but I think it's really called, or I think it's really a type of plating, if that makes sense. I don't know that for sure though. It's something I would have to look up. The great shop rearrangement of 2025 will bring these things back. Exactly. I'll find all of the tools that I'm missing, because I know you guys can't see them, but I have buckets of just scrap metal all along the side edge of this wall over here, and I have lost so much stuff in them. So we will find more stuff. when I have to move those, because they're too heavy to move from there without unloading at least some of it. What is the coating with brass called? It would be, most people call it brassing, I think, or brass coating. So, yeah. All right. I need to breathe or take a drink and breathe. Spend some time breathing in, out. All right. In, out. All right. I think I'm ready to go now. So yeah, I like, a lot of people just call coating it in brass is just like brassing your piece. A lot of like traditional blacksmiths will use that method because it's relatively old school and it's an easy way to prevent rust. Because it used to be like when I made small pieces, I left the fire coating on there. And for a while, that'll actually keep it nice and black, but over time it will start rusting. And so you kind of have to seal it with either like a beeswax or like, you know, brass or, you know, like linseed oil or something like that. I even have a copper brush, of course. It's not pure copper because that's too soft. It's something like beryllium copper. It was something I got for a particular purpose so long ago. I don't remember what the purpose was. That makes sense. Possible redemption. Pull a random piece out of the junk bin and guess where it came from and maybe do something with it. Hang it on the wall for the rest of the stream or so. It's a great color tool. Ooh, I could do that right now. Check this out, guys. This was in the scrap bin. What do you guys think this was? This is square stock. It is kind of a pyramidal shape, but it doesn't have a tip. What do you guys think this was? A lamp top. It totally was a lamp top. I didn't like the shape that it came out. It was kind of a proof of concept. What I needed to do was actually cut these into more angular sections. So like, I didn't like the way the base looked, and it was too heavy for what I was trying to do. But yes, this is the top of a lampshade. Yes, the first one for free. How big is your scrap bin out of curiosity? Oh, you guys want to know? Excuse me for just a moment. I'm going to move the camera and I'm going to show you my scrap bin. All right. So there's the first three. And that's the fourth that I've started working on. So there is a lot of scrap in there. All right, we're going back to the stand. I apologize for the movement on that camera. All right, have fun, Dan. I'll see you later. No, that is not scrap, is unrealized potential. Oh, the zoom changed? Did it? Oh, I'm so sorry. It did, didn't it? Ugh. We're gonna go like that. And there we go. Sorry about that, guys. That's an easy fix. I think what happened is I accidentally touched the screen when I pulled the camera down, and it has it punches in for a focus check. So when I didn't realize that it had done that, so I apologize. Not scrap, it's unrealized potential. Yes, it definitely is. And yeah, it's like there's pieces of a bed frame in there. There's license plates in there. There's just stuff from unrealized projects that I've started and kind of tested. There's like twists that I didn't like. There's all kinds of stuff in there. I know what it could, and it'd still be a lamp. It could be something more industrial if you can get holders, oiled steel pipe, like the old steel gas pipe or plumbing pipe. You could make a very nice structured lamp out of it, of the failed lampshade. I really could. And I could totally cover up the corners that I didn't like as well. But the reason is because I just didn't have time to fully realize that as a project. I had to make a few adjustments for the client that I made that for. I used to make a lot of furniture for commission work for my clients, and that was one that we didn't like. So, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to do another heat real fast. All right. So we are flattening out the back end. We want to keep it nice and parallel with each other. We don't want it to be bulging out any. But right now we are flattening out the section that we are going to create our hole punch in. We need to make it a little bit wider because this is the punch that we're going to be using, and it is almost the same diameter as the quarter inch. So by widening this out, we'll have plenty of areas so that we can kind of punch in that hole and not rip the sides. So that's what we're doing right now. Back in the forge we go. Developer Rat Large, hello, welcome in. But I'm into the steampunk look. I am also into the steampunk look. A lot of my furniture looks kind of like it could be very steampunk, with a little classic edge to it. I really love the steampunk aesthetic though. But yes, welcome in, Developer Rat. Do you have a... Hello, Ping. I'm trying so hard not to make any back-end jokes. Yeah, it sounds like you are maybe a computer programmer from your name. So do you have a preferred abbreviation of your name? I could call you Developer, or Large. Maybe not Rat. That I don't know that I like the sound of that. Developer at Large. Developer at Large. I did not read it that way. I am so sorry about that. But welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us. We have fun blacksmithing all kinds of pieces of metal. The good thing about Ping jokes is that you can always get something back. Yes, exactly. I love your big headset aesthetic. I do too. So the reason I actually use the sound canceling headphones instead of the little orange foamies is because my ear canals are so small that I'll put the orange foamies in and they'll start working their way out. And then when I'm in the middle of hammering, sometimes they'll fall out onto the ground and they'll get filthy, and I don't want to stick them back in my ear anymore. So I just got tired of wearing dirty ear like foamies. So I was just like, sound canceling headphones is the solution. I like the steampunk look so much. I actually painted all the woodwork in my room with a copper brush infused paint. That's actually a metal paint, but I contacted the manufacturer and they told me what undercoat to put on it if I was going to paint it on wood, which I did, and it looks pretty good, keep going a bit thick though. That makes sense. You would definitely need to have a coating on the wood first so that it would stick on there. But yeah, I do think it would probably be like a primer maybe. But yeah, I like my headphones too, because like I know I have this nice antenna here and it looks kind of weird, but they also have a function where I can listen to the radio through them, or I can Bluetooth them to like my phone or the laptop. So if I eventually get to the point where we do like TTS or something, I'll have to Bluetooth my headset to the laptop so I can hear you guys. I used to be a network engineer or that wore the hat of a software engineer at my previous job, but now I'm a business owner. I own a maker lab. Ooh, a maker lab. They have a couple of those on the other side of the river from me, and you do have to pay a monthly fee to be able to work in there. But they have all kinds of equipment. They have like CNC lathes, and they have 3D printers, and they have all the woodworking stuff that you could ever ask for. They have a whole bunch of welding supplies. They don't have any blacksmithing supplies though, at least not that I'm aware of. See, that is why I would TTS. Yeah. You could clean your workshop floor. Stop your hearing protection from getting dirty. That is true, but it's very difficult to keep the floor clean because every time I hammer, I'm like fire scale is coming off of my material. So if I want to keep my floor clean, I'd actually have to constantly be sweeping it. So you never know. My ears kind of tend to get really waxy sometimes, so it's just more convenient to wear the headphones. Same here, adults, $50 a month, $5 for the day, and for 18 to 21-year-olds and students, it's $15 a month. Free for 1 day a month. Interesting. $50 a month isn't too bad, but I spend most of my time in my own shop. There are a few times where I would love to get a hold of a CNC machine, like a plasma cutter or, you know, like a CNC lathe. Those would be so much fun to use. McDib, show me a clean workshop and I'll show you a place where nobody works. Exactly, man, exactly. I have to be really, really careful. I do have to be really, really careful though, because sometimes I do have to like sweep if I'm working in wood in here, because I can't have like sawdust on the floor while I have the forge going. So if I'm doing woodworking, I have to sweep. I have to sweep a lot. Have a good night, Vossen. Sleep well. Thank you for joining us. All right, we've got an ad coming up soon, so I'm going to wait until that ad is done, and then we're going to do our next heat, and that is going to be continuing to flatten out the area for the hole punch, and then from there we're going to twist the, or do I want to, I have to think for a moment. Well, mine is 680 square feet with a woodworking shop, machine shop, electronics lab, event lecture hall, and an incubator space. Ooh, that sounds very similar to the makerspace that's near my house. That it does. It would be interesting if I actually lived near your makerspace. I don't know. There's a lot of makerspaces in the United States. Back from ads. Excellent. I was just thinking that it would be interesting if it turned out that we actually, you know, yours was the makerspace that I'm talking about that's near my, semi near my house. It would be kind of funny. So maybe I'll go to the makerspace and you might, you know, if you recognize me, you know, say hi. Yeah, there was an ad. So I have a timer on my stream manager, and it'll tell me when I'm running or when I'm supposed to be running ads. So it'll give me like a minute and a half, like a timer. And so I wait for it to wind down, but I don't think everyone gets the whole amount of time as ads because there's like those weird insets. And I think those take time out of my minute 30 for you guys. So I try to be, you know, better about, you know, timing my heats. But if I recognize you, I'll pull your stream up on every monitor in the shop. Yeah. Will anyone recognize you without the headphones? I don't know. I mean, I do start my streams with just the safety glasses on. So maybe, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do I look that different? Some can be disabled with ad blockers. Oh, that makes sense. Well, I mean, you know, if everybody has ad blockers and nobody's getting a bunch of ads, you know, maybe I should have you guys let me know when or when ads are running. That way I can get a little bit more work in. I'm not good with faces. Oh, that makes sense. With the headphones, you look like Princess Leia. I do kind of look like Princess Leia because they look like the cinnamon rolls, right? All right, I'm gonna go to the other camera and we're gonna do another heat. So we've kind of developed a little shelf there, and I'll show you when it's a little less hot. You'll be able to see it a little better. All right, so you can kind of see now that there's a little shelf being developed. Our little area right here is that we're going to punch in the hole. Is about half of the diameter, or I mean, I guess the width of the base of the hook. So we are going to kind of straighten this out just a little bit. And then we're actually going to punch that hole in there for our next heat. I think that I need to make sure that we punch the hole before we do the twist. That way I can lay it flat on the anvil face. It shouldn't take too long to punch it either, so yeah. I just opened mine last month, so we're still getting the hang of it. We held an event this morning and we have to rethink everything. Ooh, yeah, that makes sense. A lot of times it's like people will start using your facilities in ways that you never imagined. So like people will start congregating around one area that you didn't expect them to, and it gets really, really crowded and elbow bumpy, and you know, it's kind of like you kind of gotta work out the kinks in the system, you know? Maybe rearrangement, maybe not, you know? It's gonna take some time, some trial and error, usually. Go do some work. You are not here for just chat. I know. I love chatting with you guys, though. The whole point is that I'm supposed to be making a video, but I've spent more of my time chatting than I have been making the video. But I mean, we will definitely get the hook completed before the end of the stream. We've got about 45 minutes left, and I think we really don't have that much time, that much time, or I guess that much stuff left to do to the hook. I don't know, that's kind of a weird way of putting it. We are planning on doing a monthly event where people can compete in a timed event this month. Was to make a robot that can put a small fire in, or put out a small fire, and we did not think it needed to. Oh, we needed to specify that phallic shapes are not allowed. 8 out of 12 had penis spots. Ooh. 2 of them had boobs? So does that mean that every single one of the projects was body parts? Or was it one of them had, or like some of them had both the penis and the boobs? I mean, you'll have to let me know. So yeah, that's kind of funny actually. Yep, had both the penis and the boobs. Okay. I can get, I can see it in my head. So the makerspace that's actually near me has been around for the past 10 years. So I'm not thinking that it is the same makerspace, judging from the fact that you just opened. But yeah, I do love makerspaces. If one puts a fire extinguisher on track, one gets a phallic shape. Pretty much. I mean, I have 2, right? And I mean, I feel like both of them kind of look phallic a little bit, at least. I mean, this one is like the old one, and this is the newer one. So this one kind of looks a little bit fatter. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like they could be very phallic looking, but eh. That one goes there, and that one, don't fall. And that one goes there. I gotta make sure that I don't let them fall. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna do another heat real fast. Because we do have to, actually do some work. But before we do that, I'm gonna set up my anvil a little bit better. Okay, so when we are punching holes in our material, we want to make sure that we have our punch and the correct hammer. So instead of a forging hammer, we're going to change to a designated punch hammer. And the reason that I have designated this as my punch hammer is that this face has a whole bunch of like dings in it, and if I actually used it to hammer on a hot piece of metal, it would transfer all of that, all of those dings onto the metal, right? And so you want to make sure that your hammer face is incredibly clean. So when you are hammering onto the top of the punch, you always have a chance to ding the hammerhead and the punch, so you have to be really careful. Alright, put that there, put that there. And now we're going to set this down right there. the first one always takes a little bit longer to kind of line it up. Always a risk. Alright, we've lost a lot of heat, so I'm going to put this guy back in the forge and we'll try it again. Are they up to date? My fire extinguishers, one of them is and the other is not. So the fat one is a new one that I bought at the beginning of at the end of last year. When I got back into the shop, I made sure that I had a fresh fire extinguisher, so that way if I caused any fires that I wouldn't have to worry about it. The other one is really, really old, and so in theory it is still pressurized according to the pressure gauge, but I wouldn't count on it, which is why I bought the new one. Not to say they could not change it, but you see why, right? Yeah. Yes, but they didn't need to make a robot body to look like a human and put it into yeah, they definitely didn't need to do that. That's a little not safe for work. I think I would probably put a rule about that too. Try not to drop powder fire extinguishers to make they'll make a real mess if they accidentally go off, and initially you'll be cleaning out for months. I imagine I would definitely. That's kind of why I had to, be a little bit more careful. I had to use both hands to catch it. I don't want to have to clean the fire extinguisher out of the shop. You can't tell me they didn't go and do it on purpose because they designed them to have balls. Yep. Everyone should have a fire blanket. This has been a PSA. Yeah, fire blankets for the win. Exactly. Fire blankets are very good. And it's a lot easier to deal with a fire blanket than even the fire extinguishers. I don't actually have one in here. I need to get one. But yeah, they are very convenient. Smother that fire. It's so much easier than having to clean up one of those. You know, guys, I was really tired when I started the stream today, and I am actually getting energized. So I'm actually pretty thrilled to be here right now. I feel pretty energized, and hopefully that energy just keeps on keeping on, and maybe I'll keep it even through the beyond the stream when I've actually, raided off. Maybe I'll actually be good to go on a hike or something. It is so beautiful today. So beautiful. Of course, I have been known to extinguish a fire using straw, slapping the fire out with a straw. Yeah. I have most of the time when fires break out in the shop, I'll actually stamp them out with my boot. So the rubber on my boot is a little bit melty in some places because, like I said, it's just easier for me to just stomp it out than to, when they're small like that. Because most of the fires, I catch them really, really quick. So that's always an option. Be careful if you don't have a thick sole on your boot, though. What was that? Something fell. Is there a mouse in here again? I think there's a mouse in here again. It was worth the investment because you've had to put out actual fires. Actually, in the electronics lab, people have been switching the polarities on their projects by accident. Ooh, that's dangerous. And it could totally be a ghost. I don't know. The previous owners of this shop was a woodworker, and he had passed away before we were able to get a hold of the shop. So I don't know. They didn't tell me that he didn't die in here. Maybe it's his ghost, and he's like, why are you using my shop as a blacksmith shop and not a woodworking shop? All right, we're gonna go and do another heat. I'm gonna actually be starting to do a little bit more quick succession heats because we've got plenty of gas right now. It's really heating up very fast, and I really want to finish this piece today. And maybe it would help if I wasn't struggling to pick it up. There we go. Right there. We want to make sure that we are matching our punch with the hole that we have already started. Picking up our punch every hammer blow to make sure that we've placed it exactly where we want it to be. Lost a bit of heat, but you'll also be able to see the impression of the punch that we have in there now. So we now have a really good area or an impression of where we're going to want to put our punch for our next heat. And there is a bird or a mouse in here, and it might actually be okay. So there is a heater like over there, and or like a furnace, and there is a ventilation pipe that goes up through the ceiling over there, and it almost sounds like there's a bird in it right now. So fingers crossed there's not a bird in there, because that would suck. This is why I have a pallet full of fire extinguishers. Yeah, exactly. Electronics usually just let out their magic smoke in these cases. I don't know. Like, I know that electrical fires, they have a tendency to be a little bit more difficult to put out, too. I know that there was a restaurant that I worked at one point, and one of the cords had gotten run over by the cooler. There was like a floor cooler, and we used to roll it in and out to mop the floors every night. And people had run over the cord so often that the insulation wore off. And so there was like a little fire about yay big. And that one was difficult to put out. It was it was not fun. We had to kind of unplug it and, figure out what to do with it. I think we smothered it with a fire blanket. Not the one we had to put out the first day we were open. Yeah. Electronic fires are no fun. Okay, I'm gonna do another heat real fast. Yeah. Not taking long to heat up anymore. Put this guy right here. Hi, Dark. How are you today? Welcome in. We are currently punching a hole into our J hook. Once we punch that hole, we are going to put in a couple twists on it, and then we're going to create the J. And then we'll be finished with our piece. Welcome in, everybody. We are doing some really rapid fire heats today because I'm really trying to make sure that we get the whole project finished in one day. We've done a lot of talking in the beginning, but I need to cut back just a little bit so that we can make sure that we finish it. It shouldn't take too terribly long to make sure that this hole gets punched. A couple more heats. 3 or 4, I think. And then we'll do a really quick twist, and the bending won't take any time at all. I think we'll definitely finish it. And I do have some time to talk, but we will be doing a little bit quick succession heats. I have a hole in my lip. How did the paperclip go? The paperclip went very well. It is right here. I have not had a chance to clean it up yet. So what I need to do next is I need to cut it off. And then I need to kind of squish it in just a hair bit more because this is a little bit thicker than this section right here. And then I just need to brush off all of the fire scale. So today we're making a J hook so that we can hang this guy on the wall. I really want to hang it like right there for now. And then when I switch around the shop, we will take it off of that wall and stick it over there. But it already looks good. I think it does too, but I kind of need to, I kind of feel like I want to take that little extra leg off of it. It was really nice to use while we were making it, but I don't think it needs to be there anymore, you know? So, and eventually we will have to clean it up because if I don't clean it up, we'll get rust all over it, and I don't want to see it get all rusty. All right, we've got plenty of heat, so we're going to do another round of punching. Wants to talk about not hammering your thumb while you're doing this, but the last time I did that, and it happened again. This time it wasn't that hard, so I think I'm alright. Alright guys, hit exclamation point strike for me. That was strike 1. I hammered my thumb again. Making holes is fun. Also making tools to make holes is fun. Welcome in, Art Officially. I think the command is actually exclamation point strike. Oh, you've uploaded the first engine compartment video. Excellent. I will look that up so that I can go and watch it. Let's see. But at least you hear the heartbeat. Excellent. Yeah, so I've got exclamation point, strike. And then Nightbot says, ouch, 1 strike. Be careful, Ray. So yeah, welcome artificially. We are making a J-hook today. I do also love making tools, but today we are using a store-bought punch instead of making one ourselves, because this was kind of a last-minute project. If I have strikes, do I have balls too? I don't actually have balls. I mean, I don't know. I have balls in the AC/DC sort of way, you know? Maybe. I try to be bold and ballsy, but I don't, you know. Good answer. Looking at that question now, it's a bit misleading though. Yep. Yes, I have balls in the AC/DC sort of way. All right. Let's see. Yes. So I'm going to hit the record button on the wide, and I'm going to talk about not hammering our thumbs when we're punching things, while I'm not punching things, in hopes that maybe I won't hit my thumb. All right, you guys ready? Always be careful when you are using a punch. Make sure that you are looking at the end of your punch when you are hammering on it, so you don't miss the head of your punch and hit your thumb. It can happen. It can happen. Because, yeah, I did it again. The last time we were punching a hole and I was explaining how we should, you know, look at the end of our punch while we're hammering so we don't hammer our thumb, I hammered my thumb and I started doing the spiel again, and what did I do? I hammered my thumb and it hurts. So I try very hard not to do it. Don't miss the punch when you're using punches. So just like with nails, look at the head, not the tip. Exactly. Good pain tolerance, no profanity or anything. Well, I'm still in the process of like establishing the borders of the hole, right? So I'm not using a full hammer strike. If I used a full hammer strike, we would have an issue. I would actually, if I had used a full hammer strike and hit my thumb, I would have actually had to end the stream right there, because there would be a very real chance that I could have broken the knuckle. So I was using a very light strike, so something more like this, as opposed to a full strike that will break bones. I did actually do that one time when I was using a punch. I missed the head of the punch, and instead of hitting my thumb, I actually hit my forefinger, or my pointer finger, and I broke it. So I could not continue working. It took me 2 weeks to, you know, kind of get to the point where I could go back into the shop, and I had to wear a splint, and that was not pleasant. So I always try very hard if I am not completely concentrating to make sure that I'm not using full hits. So yes, no profanities because it hurt, but not too bad. All right, and we've got ad time. So I know not all of you are running ads right now, but my timer is telling me that there are ads, and I want to make sure that everybody sees the full heats. So once this ad is gone, I will start on, or I'll start another heat. And this time, hopefully, we won't hit our thumb. All right. I need to do another inhale, exhale. All right. I have trouble inhaling and forgetting to exhale. So I am trying to deliberately remember to exhale. Well, I'm pretty sure you guys can hear me now, right? There's a hum broadcasting in my ME plug issue. Audio there. Okay, so you guys can hear me from that camera, but not from the main camera. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this. That. Okay, can you guys hear me now? So you should be able, okay. All right, so I always have issues with my Anvil camera, but at least now you'll be able to hear me. I apologize for that. I forgot to plug in my microphone, or like my lav mic last time, so I apologize. I wonder what happens if I do. Okay, so I do have the inset. Okay, so now you guys can kind of see both. So I have issues where if I do insets, then you'll get both of the sound, but right now I don't have any sound on my wide camera, so it's a bit less synchronous. I'm so sorry about that. It will be a little less synchronous. Yeah, I can see that. If I move my hand, it's a little bit weird. I'm so sorry, guys. Alright, I will try to finish this up. So we're going to do this real fast. But I probably won't have a chance to do all of it. Ugh, annoying. I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't even realize that I forgot to charge my stuff. My bad. Ow! That's strike two. That one's pretty bad, guys. I'm so sorry. you look at that, there's a nice scrape there where it scraped down my hand. Ugh, ow. And it's starting to swell. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I think I'm actually going to have to end this stream. I'm so sorry. But I'm honestly a little bit afraid of hammering my hand again. So I think I'm going to have to end this stream. I know it's only 2 strikes, but that one was bad. Ow. Rub some dirt on it. Maybe gloves. I would totally do gloves, right? But I've got, it's already starting to swell right there. And if I hit it again, it'll swell more. Ow. My bad. I'm so sorry, guys. Huh, switching hands. Switching hands would be so bad. Alright. Yeah, I think I need to end the stream. I'm so sorry that we weren't able to finish this, guys. We will finish it on Monday. But I need to clean that up and make sure that it's not going to get dirty. We will, that way we can also have our sound back. So I'm so sorry for ending the stream early, guys. But have a good weekend. Okay. Do you guys have anybody that you want to raid? Alright. I'm gonna do that. Start that guy. Okay. If you guys have anybody you want to raid, let me know. Otherwise, I will take a look myself. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm so sorry about the sound and hammering my hand. Every once in a while, this sort of thing happens to me. Okay. Let's see. Looks like Lone Mountain Knife is streaming right now. Do you guys want to raid Lone Mountain Knife? Mr. Boombody. Is that a streamer or? Okay, we can read them. Let me do that real fast. Okay. Interesting. Chainmail. Good one, Ping. Alright, we're gonna start this raid. Have a good weekend, guys. Thank you so much for joining me.